All right, we're still talking about multiplying and dividing integers, but I'm really only speaking to those of you that are really trying to do some of the challenge or extra challenge material. I just wanted to make a couple concepts clear. It kind of will help you along the way. Okay, so the first is when you're multiplying a sequence of three numbers, and some could be positive, some could be negative. So let's look at that. Let's take -2, for example, times -7 times -1. Okay? So I want to look at that and see what our final answer would be. I mean, the math is pretty easy. You're going to take 2 times 7 times 1. So what's that? Okay, I hope you said 14. But let's look at this a little bit more carefully. It's easy to think about if we just take it in sets of 2. So in my instructions to you are going to be think of it in sets of 2. So let's do that first. A -2 times a -7 is going to be a positive 14. Okay? And then we'll do the rest. Okay? So positive 14 times a -1, okay? That'll give me a -15. Okay? So, a -14. All right, Friday afternoon, my brain's not working. Okay? So the final answer ends up being negative, even though all these numbers are also negative. So you kind of have to think of it in sets of 2, right? A negative times a negative is a positive. A positive times a negative is a negative again. So it kind of rotates every other, okay? If I multiplied by -1 again, that would change my final answer. It would be a negative times a negative, which would give me a positive again. Okay, so you kind of have to think through that when you're multiplying lots of sets of stuff, okay? That applies to this concept here, okay? What if I have -3 squared? Well, -3 squared is really -3 times -3. So a negative times a negative is a positive, so that'll give me 9. Now, what if I have -3 cubed? Okay, that's really -3 times -3 times -3. So that's a similar situation to what I just said. The first two, okay, will be -3 times -3 is a positive 9. Now, positive 9 times -3, right, is going to give me a -27. So in this case, my answer is negative. In this case, when the squared case, my answer was positive. So it just depends how many times you're multiplying those negatives. It alternates back and forth, sort of, in your answer. Okay? The final thing I wanted to show you, challenge people, is what if it is in a fraction format? So I'm just going to do a simplified one. What if it's -7 times 3 over -1? Okay? I want you to kind of think of this division bar as a form of parentheses in a way. So when you're thinking of order of operations, you got to do what's on top first, okay? Because this is just kind of by itself. So let's think about that. -7 times a positive 3, okay? That'll give me -21, okay? After I've simplified the top, then I can think about the bottom, the denominator. So a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so this will leave me with a positive 21. Okay, so just a few tips and pointers to help you working on that challenge work. Signing off for now.